Hello everyone and welcome to another Sims video. I teased this on Twitter and Tumblr. I decided that I wanted to remake over the Goths because I don't like them. I really don't. I don't know why. I think it's mostly because they're like you guys wanted us to make her darker, right? Because she was darker in the previous games. I'm like, yes, she was darker, but she had a warmer skin tone as shown here. And I kind of wanted to do that because I think we're all used to the way that the Goths used to look. I think they changed them a little too much so that they're barely recognizable. So what I wanted to do was I went and added the old Goths as our starting sim and kind of went from there. And the first thing you saw me do is I immediately changed Bella into an adult, as she should be, because her and Morty there are supposed to be the exact same age, and they said no. But I started, I don't know much about lore because my first Sims game is The Sims 4. But I went to the Sims wiki and I looked up every single sim in this household and kind of went from there. And I think the reason why the new Bella isn't working is one, like I said, the skin tone is darker, but it's too cool, if that makes sense. Cool toned. It's supposed to be highly contrasting warm. And then what you see me doing here is I'm trying to mimic the eye shape from the picture. And I basically, it's not inspired by just one Sims game. It kind of was mixed all around. But like I said, I think the new Sims are just too different. The way that they made her nose, even the older Sims games, she had a bigger nose. I don't know why they made it so small. Also, I know the moles, she's only supposed to have I think the 1 or the 2, but compared to where I put my skin details, I kinda needed them to be the way they were because, yes. But like I said, I get where they were trying to go, but I personally didn't like the direction. I'm glad that they're stepping up and finally changing things that people had been calling them out for a while. If I'm completely honest, they should have just got some simmers or the EA game changers. That they're better at making sims. Obviously, I know my sim is gonna look a lot different because I'm using CC. I debated on making an updated CC-less version of her. I could not bring myself to do it, so I didn't. But you will see as I go through some hairs. I did notice in some older games, Bella had a shorter haircut, so I was going to go with that until I found this hair, which I'm absolutely in love with. I keep trying to put it on almost every one of my Sims. It's by Sims Trouble. It's one of their more recent hairs, so obviously you can see why I'm obsessed now, because it's new and I wanted to play with it. But I ended up finding this, and I'm it kind of gives the same equivalent of, long, gorgeous locks, and I'm that's exactly what Bella is. And the fact that they made her so skinny, and this is the original one, The Sims was just making their Sims extremely skinny. For what? Yes, she's supposed to be, fancy lady, but that's too far. I think Simsy pointed out that Candy Bear from Get to Work, her body is just, and there's nothing wrong with being that skinny, it's just not realistic. you know. And also, I think originally she had like a smoky eye, but I was like looking at the wiki and saw that she had like blue eyeshadow. I'm like, yes. Also, I did pull out full stops here. Usually I don't use my contact lenses, is what I'm calling them anymore, but I decided to pull them out because I really wanted to go with it. Because I think it's cool. And this is me, like, I understand that I think I kind of whitewashed her in a sense. So I'm like, she does need to be darker, but it needs to be warmer than what they gave. So, wait, did I even use contact lenses? Did I just click them for nothing? What the hell? I think this is me just like staring at the wiki because I didn't want to mess it up because I know how much people love the lore, and I'm just like, I don't know. But we've got Morty, and I get what they were trying to do with Mortimer. They were trying to make him more Gomez. I don't know why I said Gomez Adams in this one. But if you look at Mortimer in The Sims 2, he doesn't have this hooked nose. I mean, I'm pretty sure I kept it, but it was never that bad. Also, I always do that with my faces. Like, for some reason, they always make Sims heads too thin and too short. Some people have basketball size heads, man. Also, I don't know why they gave him the pencil thin mustache. Like, I get what look they were trying to go for, but the original mustache is what he's supposed to have. Because that's the way he looked in the game. I get wanting to change things up, but if you're changing the sim, you're supposed to be changing it to your inspiration, which should be your other reiteration or every other reiteration of him instead of Gomez Adams. Because that's all I get. And I will admit, here, I'm not too sure. There were some games where he was pale, and then there were other games where he was listed as tan. So I made the executive decision. I did make him tan, but I did not make him anywhere near as dark as Bella, which is how it's supposed to be. So I ended up giving him his mustache back, but I think, yeah, I changed the color because he's supposed to be an adult, and if you ever look at the inspiration, like the previous reiterations of Morty Goth there, he does gray a little, so I ended up wanting to take him that way. And if you ever watch me put skin details and you call me out saying I do it the same every time, you're right, but I don't want to hear about it. It's one of those things that The Sims will look different. I just like making their bases mostly the same because I like having mouth corners. I like giving blush to give some humanity to the skin of the Sims. And then I love adding pores because it just gives some texture to the skin. But if you always see at the top where I have like face overlays, that's usually where I differ sometimes. It all depends on what the Sim is calling for. And in this one, I'm like trying to figure out how he dresses, and all I'm getting is I'm like very fancy. I was trying to like go a little bit more modern. I'm like, no, this man would wear a suit in a pool. Those are the vibes that I get from him, is that Mortimer Goth would wear a suit in a pool if he could. So I ended up going with a suit, and I ended up going just with a get to work one. It just looks so good on him. And I honestly want to know why when they gave Morty a ring, it was the engagement ring, like the one with the diamond, unless they were trying to prove like they're rich. He's got a sparkly ring, and I'm like, so just give him the other one. And here is my controversial yet necessary take. I deleted both Cassie, and I'll eventually delete Alexander. I delete them at different times. But my thought process here is, if you're gonna make a child of a sim, you added genetics, just use them. Because I don't know about, like, it seems like they make kids as kids so that they're, like, cute as kids, and then they grow up and they're god-awful. Because I don't know if you saw, like, the meme going around of, well, it's not even a meme, it was just a, oh, good god. The way that the new Alexander Goth grows up, they're both bad. But the new one is just not good. And as you can see, I did change her skin color because I don't know what it is. They added this whole skin tone thing, and then you've got two warm-toned Sims. One darker, one lighter. And when it goes to give Cassie her skin, it goes and gives her the one that the new Sims have. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And what I got from Cassie was literally Goth, but all black. Which I don't get the storyline, because you're like, we're trying to fight the norms. I don't want to wear red. You still wear their other favorite color, which is black. I don't get it. But then again, does The Sims really care about lore? No. Like, you really want to rebel against your parents by wearing a different color? Bestie, no. I don't know. But I do have to say, dressing Cassie was one of my favorites, because I absolutely love her style. I don't know. I like dressing gothic Sims. That's just how it is. And obviously you can see I debated on using the black checkered skirt to, like, reference previous Cassie. But I'm like, no, she's gonna be gothic. I'm gonna make her gothic, you know? And I know that they decided to give her those weird magenta purple tights. And I'm like, no. Absolutely not. No, thank you. Also, I'm upset because after this video, I added a bunch more CC. And one of the things that I got, that it just happened to be in a pack, I didn't get it on purpose, was scratched off, like, nail polish. Like, you know, chipping nail polish. And I'm like, I would have put that on Cassie in a heartbeat. Because I think it's funny. And this is me. I don't know anything. Oh, I have some cast posters. Don't worry about it. And on to Alexander Goth. This is what he looked like before, and I get what they were going for, but he doesn't even look anything like the previous Sims, which is, I feel like they went a little too hard trying to fix up these Sims and not realizing that they don't really look canon as much as the other ones do. And I know that they're trying to not go canon. They're like, we're our own game. And I'm like, yeah, but the reason we had you change Bella's skin tone is because, referencing the previous game, she was whitewashed. So, in here, you still have to reference them a little bit, because if you ever looked at the kids, Alexander was pretty pale. And I know that he's not really pale here, but compared to his mother, he is quite pale. Because like I said, there were some games that it referenced that Morty was really pale, or there was ones that referenced that he was tan. So I went with tan. But I think I made Alexander willingly a little paler because I'm like, he's a kid. Kids don't always match their parents, because sometimes you just need to get sun to be as dark as your parents, because sometimes the skin color you're used to seeing your parents is them being weathered, basically. But yeah, it just weirded me out that they went so hard trying to fix Bella due to the way that Bella looked in past games, but then didn't really care about making the other ones match as much. But these are Sims. I absolutely adore the new Bella. Morty, I'm telling you, the way that they just remade Morty makes it look like they were trying to make Gomez Adams. And this is the Morty that I know and love. He looks sweet, could be spooky, I don't know. But, and then Cassie looks so different. She doesn't even look gothic at all. And I don't know if that was intentional or what, but she did not look gothic at all. Like, yeah, they gave her, like, black clothing, but that literally doesn't mean anything. And then Alexander Goth, he's just supposed to be a little nerdy, but still stylish kid. So I gave him a little bit more red because, like I said, Cassie's the one that's supposed to be fighting them, so. But with that, I hope you enjoyed my new Sims, my new Goths, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye!